Welcome to the spooky bowels of Netflix, where your very frightened co-hosts, Eyeball and Scary, force each other to rip open the body cavity and devour the organs, blood, and gristle of the worst movies they can find on Netflix.
Alright, welcome to the spooky bowels of Netflix. I'm Eyeball, and with me as always is my very frightened co-host, Scary. How are you doing this week, Scary?
Tastes like burning. I don't know, is that...
burning.
Is that scary? Is that spooky? I'm trying to be spooky.
Yeah, did you pop like a hot charcoal in your mouth to test how metal you are? Because that's spooky.
Oh, funny story.
What tastes like burning, Larry?
So yesterday, I got some jalapenos, some fresh jalapenos. And
spicy boys.
Having never worked with them before, I didn't realize you're not supposed to touch them with your hands.
Yeah, you gotta be a little careful about that.
So let's make a long story short. I got my hands covered in jalapeno juice and then touched my dick.
Oh.
And I spent 45 minutes rolling around on the floor, clutching my dick, which I was convinced was melting off of my body.
Was it a sexual touch or a pee-pee touch?
It was a pee-pee touch.
Okay.
But I admit there was sexual touching in my future that was then had to be postponed.
Right.
Because thought my dick was melting off.
We both worked with a gentleman of the culinary arts persuasion, and we worked at a crappy little sandwich shop with him. And he was known for his tall tales and being a bit of a braggadocious guy. But one of my favorite stories, and I love retelling this, even though it's probably not true in any way, shape, or form. But he said he was working with, I forget if it was dried or fresh ghost peppers, but one of the spicier peppers in the world, and didn't wash his hands, went to take a piss, got some on his dick, and he said that was the worst pain he had ever experienced in his life, even worse than shattering both his kneecaps doing parkour.
That's right. And I forgot about that.
I don't believe any of that, but I love that story.
Let me tell you, because I can't think of anything spookier for a Halloween episode than my dick melting off of my body.
Yeah,
because that's what it felt like.
That's frightening.
And I bring that story up because right before we started recording today, I went out to I'd been in the bedroom for a while. I went out to the kitchen where the dog had picked out the pieces of the jalapeno that were in the trash, which are the seeds.
Oh.
And has chewed upon them. So if at some point you hear a literal howl, it's because my dog is dying, shitting his guts out, which is certainly in his future. Spooky bowels of Netflix. So, how are you, Eyeball?
Well, Scary, I am not thrilled to be alive right now because I need to discuss a movie that I'm not keen on. I didn't like it.
I like your choice of words there. You're not keen on it.
I'm not keen on it at all. It's a British movie. Is it the first British movie we ever had?
Oh, yeah.
Right, yeah, cheerio.
We're Australian. If I keep it up, it'll become Mario. It always does. All my accents become Mario.
Cultural appropriation. But yeah, so we are the Bowels of Netflix. Every week, one of us forces the other one to watch the worst movie they can find on Netflix, and then we describe it in horrifying detail, everything that was wrong with it. If you want to twiddle, twat us, poke us on social media, that's Facebook and Twitter. Those are both Bowels or at Bowels of Netflix. You know it, internet. If you want to send us an email, bowelsofnetflix@gmail.com. We'd love to hear your thoughts on any of these movies we've covered, or any movies we might cover in the future, or any thoughts you just want to share with us, lovely fellows. And make sure to rate and subscribe. And if you have any podcast friends who might like this kind of inane bullshit, recommend us, because we love getting listeners. Makes us feel like we're doing something slightly more involved than masturbating each other.
Oh, God, please don't talk about masturbation right now.
You need to, like, soak your dick and your hands in a vinegar bath before you rub one out.
I washed my hands with milk. And if I put my finger in my mouth, it's still spicy. There's no escape.
Oh, God.
It's the spookiest Halloween I've ever had.
Oh, it's too fun.
What did I do to you this week?
This week we're talking about a weird movie called Hungerford. Hungerford. I don't know how to say it. It's apparently a town. Mm-hmm. And I won't really get that into it, but apparently one of England's only, like, huge mass shootings happened there in, I think, 1987.
Oh, dear.
Some guy just went off and, like, killed, like, 16 people just on a shooting spree across town.
Oh, God.
Yeah. So that was interesting. And then there's a little part of the movie that is kind of a nod to that, although I don't know. It's weird. We'll get into that.
Huh. But
this movie came out in the year of our Lord 2014. It has a audience Rotten Tomatoes score of 20%. There is not a critic aggregated score. It was not a big enough movie to get the critics out. IMDb is sitting at a 3.9, which, as we know for IMDb, is very low.
That's low.
I think last week, even Bedeviled, you had, what, a 4.3?
Yeah, 4.3. And the audience score was 21.
Mm-hmm.
How many people is that for Rotten Tomatoes?
1,100 people on IMDb.
Ooh.
And 26 user ratings on Rotten Tomatoes. not very popular.
Oh, shocker.
But I have a couple of questions, and I want you to try to look inward, and I want you to try to be as honest as you can with me.
Okay, I'm very good at that.
If you wrote and directed a movie right now, not right now, but like over the course of the next calendar year, you wrote and directed a movie, what do you think the audience Rotten Tomato score would be if you were at the helm of a motion picture?
I'm just writing it?
Writing and directing.
Okay. 37%.
37. Now, second question. If you wrote and directed a movie at the age of 19, what would the audience Rotten Tomato score be?
1%. 3%.
3%. Okay. This movie was written, directed, and stars a Mr. Drew Casson, I believe, who was 19 at the time. And also did all the special effects, the limited amount of CGI that is in the movie.
Interesting.
The budget is $20,000. I forget if it's euros or dollars, but anyway, not much, or pounds. I don't know what they do over there in
not much at all.
Fucking Queenland.
I think that's Australia.
Something like that. Prince Charles Kingdom. I don't know. But yeah, so incredibly low budget. Probably the lowest budget we've ever had, I think. I think it might even, like, that's around the budget
certainly.
Clerks was, I think.
Yeah, Clerks was pretty low.
So this is a very, very bad movie. But for a first movie ever, at the age of 19, on an ultra-low budget, it's pretty impressive.
God
It's
damn it.
It's a bad movie. There's a lot that's wrong with it, especially like you saw with Bedeviled. Maybe it's a symptom of horror movies where there's a bunch of tangential storylines that never go anywhere or develop into anything. I don't know if it's just filler or just checking boxes of, oh yes, you're supposed to have this kind of storyline. But I don't know. I don't think Casson's really done anything since this. So we'll see if he ends up having a career. But just what he was able to pull off, you know, at the helm at 19 of his own feature film. And I think originally they were shooting this to be a YouTube series, but it turned into a feature film. It's impressive, but it wasn't fun to watch, and I don't want to talk about it.
God damn it. It looked so bad. I didn't realize it had a feel-good story behind it.
Nah, no, it doesn't feel good. It just feels like... It feels like if a 5-year-old drew a picture of a duck and it was a really bad picture, you'd have to still be like, okay, well, that's a good job, Junior. You did good. You can't just smack him in the head and criticize, well, your 3D perspective fucking sucks because you're 5, you shitbird.
And this is why you're a terrible father.
I have kids? Shit.
Uh-oh, wait. That stork have to live with those kids?
So pissed.
Fuck. That stork owes me money.
Okay, and So, this is a found footage movie, which you knew when you picked it for me because you're an asshole and I hate you and I hope a bag of dicks just hits you in the face.
You know what? If I'm going to get hit in the face with something, I mean, why not a bag of dicks, right? They're not that hard.
And once they're severed, they don't stay hard.
Yeah, I know. In fact, the bag of dicks, that sounds like a fun afternoon.
I don't know if I go fun afternoon. I feel like there'd be a lot of questions by the authorities.
Okay. So someone has cut off these. It's not just like a gift from God.
No, okay. So if magically a bag of dicks appeared out of nowhere, hit you in the face, and then landed on your desk, what would you do? Would you call the police? Would you throw them away? Would you eat them?
What am I, Jeffrey Dahmer?
Would you play with them? Would you put them on your fingers like finger gloves?
How big are they? Is it like a variety or is it
8 white, 2 black? So you can use the black ones for thumbs.
Oh, geez. In my head, it was like a gigantic burglar sack with 200 dicks in it.
Oh, no. I'm thinking, moderate size.
Oh.
Like a gallon Ziploc bag, not completely full.
I guess I put them in the freezer for a rainy day.
And then you're going to get caught with a bag of dicks in your freezer.
Well, can you trace them to anybody?
Is there
10 guys out there missing dicks? What? Just anything to not talk about the movies, huh?
Yeah, seriously, Jesus. Okay, so we open with the whole movie. The entire movie is found footage. It's the worst. And it's just an excuse to make a low-budget movie that's symptomatic of Blair Witch Project, which was brilliant at the time, revolutionary at the time, first time anyone ever did it. But it basically gave anyone who wanted to make a horror movie but didn't have a lot of money a license to make it shittily.
Oh, yeah, it carte blanche opened up the doors of the worst fucking trope in movie history.
Yep, it worked once, and it never worked again. And
is Blair Witch even that good? I saw maybe 20 minutes of it.
I've never seen it, and I just know historically, just as it came out, I think, 99 or sometime in the late 90s, so again, sort of early in the cultural revolution of the internet. But there was a lot of internet hype about it, so it was revolutionary just from that perspective. And just a huge success. I don't know how well it holds up. I've never actually seen it. But it's still lauded as a milestone of movie making, and specifically horror movies, for sure. Yeah,
when you talk about found footage, you can't not talk about Blair Witch. Because it was
it's
the prognosticator.
2001, what the fuck is it even called? Space Odyssey?
Yeah.
The Kubrick movie, that's what it's called? Yeah. Okay. But yeah, that being to science fiction, just it paved the way for so much and set the tone for things.
Unfortunately, it's a really shitty genre.
What,
the found footage? Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a one-trick pony, and there's so many problems with it, of how you show things in the movie when it's supposed to be the character holding the camera. Why would they be filming this, then?
Right, it doesn't make any sense.
Strain so hard, yeah. Okay, so we open up with a young man with long curly hair. He's holding the camera, filming himself. His name is Cohen. And this is the writer, director, star, special effects guy of the movie. The mastermind behind it.
I'm getting Penn Jillette vibes. I'm getting upset. About that episode which shall not be named.
If Penn Jillette actually was a teenager, I'd feel a lot more sympathetic to Director's Cut. I don't
know what you're talking about, Eyeball. I don't remember that.
Sorry, Scary.
I have vague memories of hating Penn Jillette and don't know why.
So Cohen describes that he's going to be documenting his life for 7 days for a film project or something. He's in school. I don't know. Today's as good a day as any to start. Except he and his friends partied too hard the night before. So
is his character 19 then?
Yeah.
Okay.
He's woken up in the flat of a friend of his named Phil. Phil is a female. Okay. Maybe it's a British thing. I don't know. Or fill her up with cock, whatever. She is pissed because they left her alone last night with Boring Graham. And Cohen says, Phil, I thought you liked Boring Graham. And Phil gets very indignant Because why would she call him Boring Graham if she liked him?
Okay, that's a name, and because it's England, my brain filled it in as like a boring grandmother.
But yeah, that's about as clever as this movie gets. Not good enough for a chuckle. I didn't hate that line, but that's the pinnacle.
Oof.
Well, okay. There's one other thing that I actually did laugh at, but we'll get to that. So Cohen, again, just fucking walking around with this fucking found footage camera, Jesus Christ, encounters Kipper on the stairs. Kipper is not a fish. He is a nerd. He's like the bespectacled British Michael Cera, kind of.
Oh, I already hate him.
He looks way too young. I think he's played by a 20-year-old. He looks like he's 14. And I guess he's supposed to be characterized by a nerd, or as a nerd, but it doesn't compute, because Cohen asks him what time he got home, and Kipper says 11:06. And then Cohen asks, well, what time did Adam get home? Kipper says 3:32. Why is he so specific about the times? Is that what nerds do? You're more involved in nerd culture than I am. Are you very specific about times? Do you know nerds who are very specific about time?
No, but do you want to talk about beard time, or is that going to bring up memories?
No. That's a whole different thing.
I have some theories about time.
We should cover it real quick and just get it out of the way. Explain yourself.
I am firmly, and have been for a very long time, of the opinion that the day does not roll over at midnight. The next day rolls over one of 2 points. Yes, one of 2 points. It's either A, when you go to sleep and wake up. If you go to sleep and it's Thursday, if it's after midnight, if it's technically by your fucking weird government time, if it's Wednesday 11:59 and it turns into Thursday 12 a.m. if you are still awake, it is still Wednesday. When you go to sleep and wake up, it is then Thursday. Or if it hits 6 a.m. That is beard time. And it's a much better system of time than the fucking your weird government time that you let control you.
And not exactly. I must begrudgingly admit that there must be a certain logic to it. Because my wife very giddily will point out anytime I slip accidentally into referring to the world in beard time.
You railed against it for many years.
Yes.
Until slowly but surely you started to come around.
It's still wrong, but sometimes our feeble brains can't conceptualize reality very well. So we have to, box things up in a stupid way.
Yeah. See, I recognize for the fact of the world to function, there needs to be a sort of official time when the day turns into the next day. But on a human level, it's not Thursday until you sleep. Or it's 6 a.m.
There's been at least 4 or 5 times where I've made some comment suggesting I believe in beard time, and my wife has taken great mirth in calling me out, and I've then pushed her down the stairs every time.
How do you get the wheelchair to the top of the stairs in the first place?
I just leave her there as like a warning. Like, hey, you have all this potential energy. It could turn into kinetic energy real fucking fast.
Oh, no. Oh, I'm just so glad that we haven't lived together in many years now. And in fact, don't even live in the same state any longer. But I still am affecting your life. And I'm delighted by it.
Your jalapeno fingers are still burning my dick, Larry.
My dick still burns. And it's been 24 plus hours.
I'm glad you're suffering, because I'm suffering too.
But yeah, so I guess nerds have a thing about time, but not about precision of time. It just so happens to develop my own time system based on logic and the video game Harvest Moon. So
that's probably the nerdiest sentence anyone's ever said. I just so happen to develop my own time system based on a video game and logic.
That's even better when you say it in Klingon.
Larry's coughing on a chicken bone.
Okay,
so
it's a cock from the freezer.
now everyone knows I refer to my penis as a chicken bone. It's our affectionate name for it.
God damn it.
Cohen goes to wake up Adam, and Adam has a black eye. Apparently, Adam got his black eye last night defending him and Cohen when someone called them gay while they were in their cups.
In their cups.
Phil,
How's that college education paying off?
I'm wealthy beyond imagination. Definitely in the black, not with a lot of student loan debt. God damn it. God damn this society. Phil grabs the camera and pulls it away from Cohen and makes fun of Cohen and Adam for being gay. Because this movie was made in 2014. And that's still funny, I guess. I don't know. So then they're... Kipper, Adam, Phil, and Cohen all pose for a group shot. With the camcorder that's filming. I guess it can take stills. Whatever. So they're about to take a shot. They start counting. Okay, we'll take a picture in 1. And then a giant bang and flash of light happens outside through the window. And they all freak out and panic. They run outside to see the only really good CGI effect in the movie, which is a weird, fiery hellstorm in the sky. It looks fairly intimidating and creepy. They encounter a cop they know, who looks very shaken up, and he's kind of muttering about his radio's dead, and the old factory has been struck by lightning, he doesn't know what's going on. Shit starts falling from the sky and smashes into buildings. Our 4 teenage friends are all thrilled and delighted at the chaos and that all the firemen are out, so they decide it's going to be a crazy night to party. So we cut to them.
What?
Oh yeah, they're going to party. Like they do every night.
But the world is apparently ending.
Just a little. But yeah, you might as well party. So cut to them taking shots and playing drinking games. Tons of shaky cam bullshit, camera getting passed around, them pouring shots into beers and chugging it, and all kinds of shit. They're looking out the window while they're all shit-faced. They see an old guy in a suit fall down in a crosswalk on the street below. They run out drunkenly, only to find that he has disappeared, and there's only a small puddle of blood where he had fallen. Spooky. Or some shit. I don't fucking know. The next morning, Phil is filming. Adam is awake. Cohen is asleep. So Adam writes cocksucker, C-O-C-K space S-U-K-A on Cohen's forehead. Phil admonishes Adam for leaving the C out of sucker. Sorry, I just died inside a little. Cohen's ex-girlfriend, Janine, knocks on the front door. Cohen wakes up, gets very nervous, and Phil's telling him, don't talk to her because we wrote cocksucker on your head, but she doesn't say that, and but Adam pushes him ahead. He's like, oh, no, you gotta talk to her. So Janine answers the door and invites Cohen to a party, and then Adam and Phil kind of weasel their way into also coming to the party, but then Janine gets really awkward because Cohen's very obviously hungover and has cocksucker written on his head. And she very awkwardly tells Cohen, hey, you got cocksucker written on your forehead. I'm gonna get going. What is this movie?
I'm sorry, is the world not ending? Did I imagine that?
No, just a little. Just a little. They had a party.
Okay.
They like beer, Larry.
All right.
They're teenagers.
Yeah, your favorite. Get used to him.
Okay, so on the way to the party, they see... Well, okay, I thought it was a traffic cop, but apparently England postmen just dress really fucking weird. So really? I guess it's a mailman. I don't know. It's what one review I was looking at said. So I guess we got a mailman just standing, like in an alleyway, staring off into the distance. And as they're walking by, they're just kind of filming him, and they get kind of weirded out, and then the camera glitches out a little. Like, kind of shakes and gets green, and we hear, like a crunchy tech sound, like, I don't know, whatever.
All right.
So, yeah, things are slowly getting weird. We're at the party. It's awkward. Kipper, the nerd, who likes exact times, is wearing a shirt his mom got him for Christmas and some new jeans that his mom also got him for Christmas.
Of course.
So they're hanging at the party, just general shots of drinking and socializing. Cohen and Janine awkwardly flirt in the backyard on the outskirts of the party. Cohen apologizes for not talking to her for the last 6 months. And they set up a date to go on a strawberry picking adventure, even though Cohen says he hates strawberries.
Is shit still falling from the sky?
No.
Okay.
No. I guess not. They just don't show it.
All right. Strawberry picking.
Yep. Maybe this probably is as stupid as teenagers behave and how they actually start dates.
Mm-hmm.
Because they're teenagers and they're morons and unbelievably socially awkward. But I don't want to see a movie of it.
Yeah.
It's either really authentically written and therefore kind of props, but it's boring as all sin, or it's just terrible writing. I don't know which for sure.
Huh. I don't either.
Right. So Cohen goes to take a piss around the side of the house and sees Janine's dad, who's locked in his study, bashing his bloody forehead against the window.
Okay.
He freaks out, runs over to Adam, who is flirting with a girl. She immediately starts vomiting blood and collapses. Janine accuses Adam of spiking her drink and tells them all to leave. Cohen and Adam almost get in a fight on the way home.
Okay.
A lot of stuff happens real hot and fast in this movie.
I'm sorry. Are we just... Okay. All right.
Do you have any questions? I will try to clarify.
What the fuck is happening? And why are they ignoring it?
The world's ending, and they're partying.
Okay. And you gave this movie props because it was written by a 19-year-old and is supposedly okay?
No. It's a bad movie. It's a very, very bad movie.
Okay.
But as you said, and I think my numbers would come in fairly close to yours, if you wrote and directed a movie at the age of 19, it would deserve a 3
it'd
audience
be wretched.
Score.
Yeah.
Right. So I think he outpaced what we would have done.
We're also full of self-hate and have no confidence in our abilities.
This is true. And the strongest points the movie has, I mean, just to pull it off into, well, it's not really a cohesive story. Probably the best thing he does is cinematographically.
Okay.
Because there's a lot of cool, well, not a lot. There's some cool shots, and some every once in a while there's a creative thing done with the fucking shaky cam stuff. And there's decent stuff with lighting, especially. There's one scene where he, like, wakes up from a car accident, and you see the camera's just zoomed in on his face, and he's backlit from sunlight, and everything looks kind of washed out, and it plays into him groggily waking up and just kind of coming back into the world. I don't know. So there were some things like that where you can tell he has a modicum of talent. It just needs to be focused much better. Because he's 19. And probably drinks too much, based on his characterization of him and his friends. Ugh. Okay. So the next day, Cohen calls Janine and tells her that there's no way Adam could have done it, because I have all this evidence. Or, no, he doesn't have evidence. I thought about it, and he couldn't have done it. Janine tells Cohen...
I think that's how John Wayne Gacy got off.
When you say got off.
He killed a bunch of boys.
And the corpses of Filipino boys.
Oh, man. No, that wasn't that Dahmer? It probably was both of them, actually.
I don't... Dahmer definitely was preferred, I think, the Filipinos, but...
Serial killing coroner.
Gacy was Wisconsin, so it was just good old-fashioned cheese-eating white boys. Or no, he was Chicago. Fuck, I don't remember. That's probably a good thing.
Yeah, it's... Having an encyclopedic knowledge of serial rapists and killers is not necessarily a good trait.
You said serial rapist. I just picture some guy sticking his dick in a bowl of cereal. That's how mature I am.
What kind of cereal are you imagining?
Rice Krispies. It's the cereal that screams back.
Snap, Crackle, and Pop It's Virgin Cherry.
Oh, God. Oh, lordy lord.
And then a single gunshot. And then silence.
Janine tells Cohen not to call her again. She says her dad is having a nervous breakdown, and Adam must have spiked the girl's drink. I don't know. I really don't know. Cohen talks to Phil. Janine, Cohen's ex, told Cohen over the phone that he's behaving like a child and doing nothing with his life. Cohen says maybe she has a point. Phil tells Cohen that's bollocks, that he can do anything he wants, even if that means leaving, even though I don't want you to leave because I need you around here, but you should leave anyway, because you should do something with your life, even though Janine don't think you can.
It's just British teenagers now.
Yeah.
God, that's worse.
There's a knock at the door. The, I guess, postman, who I thought was a traffic cop. He's got a big, bright orange vest. He bursts in and starts assaulting Phil. Cohen drops the camera on the floor, and because fucking shaky cam logic, it just happens to fall, so it films everything that's about to happen.
That's convenient. It didn't shatter into a billion tiny, fragile camera-sized pieces?
Exactly.
Hooray.
Yay. So Cohen tries to beat up the dude, but he doesn't do super well. Adam, who's a bit more of a tough fighter dude, I guess, comes in and starts fighting the guy with really badly mimed punches. Like, you can tell. It looks worse than a bad wrestling match. You can tell they're just not hitting the blows at all. And there's really crappy sound effects where it just must be fucking Googling punch sound effects. There's no punching up of the sound. It just sounds like empty and hollow and not like a real punch. Yeah. Like in an actual movie, like you feel the meat of the punch.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, yeah, just, again, kids making their best attempt at a movie. So, yeah, it's rough around the edges, and I'm complaining about some of this little stuff, but for what they're doing, that's not the end of the world. The punches don't have to be perfect. The fucking story is trash. That's the problem.
All right.
The traffic cop grabs a kitchen knife, and he and Adam start struggling over it. Eventually, Adam turns the knife around, and it plunges into the traffic cop's postman's stomach. The postman twists the blade in his stomach to reveal he's, dead inside and doesn't feel pain, whatever. He pulls the knife out of his own stomach, and then lunges for Adam, but without the knife, I don't know, he throws the knife away. I don't know. It's hard to tell, because the goddamn camera's on the floor looking up, because it's a found footage goddamn movie.
Gross.
So, naturally, Adam responds by spraying deodorant in the postman's face. And as you do, the postman screams in horror, runs into the living room where he collapses through the coffee table and dies. His face is a melty, bloody mess.
Okay.
And this is the best line of the movie, so Cohen, Phil, and Adam have just been fighting this guy, and Adam has just melted his face off to death with deodorant. And Kipper, unaware of any of this happening, walks into the room and says, "Hey guys, I've got some crumpets." And everyone's screaming and crying, and there's a corpse on the floor.
Oh, that's so British. God.
That's the only laugh I got. And it's just the way it was delivered was good.
The fuck even is a crumpet?
I don't know. Tasty cake, probably.
Okay, all right. Jesus Christ.
So,
what is happening?
They argue about what to do with the dead body they now are in possession of. Adam, we find out, is on probation, so they can't call the cops. As soon as we find that out, I know. Right?
Oh, that's the reason why?
Yep.
Not the corpse on their fucking living room table.
Terry, the friendly cop that they kind of know that they sort of saw earlier, knocks on the door and starts accusing them of having cannabis in the house. And he says, "Are you familiar with Statute 49873 from the House of Commons? It says cannabis is an illegal substance, and I have reason to suspect there's some in this house, and please give me some." So Cohen gives him a big bag of weed on the house.
Jesus Christ.
And the cop walks away without any real drama. Just, we wanted that tension there for a hot moment. Good writing, great writing, wonderful.
I hate kids.
So, they wrap the body up in a sheet, and decide they're going to toss it in the nearest dumpster. Because it's a found footage movie, the only way we see this is because Kipper is filming them, wrapping the body in the sheet, talking about how to get rid of the body, taking it to the dumpster, talking about how bad of an idea this is. The other three tell him not to worry, no one ever checks the dumpsters, it'll be fine. To clarify, Kipper has been filming them dispose the body while he's talking about how worried he is about them getting caught disposing of the body, and the other people say, don't worry, no one checks the dumpsters, there'll be no evidence. Plot hole! Plot hole! There's a plot hole here, Larry. There's a big plot hole.
Do tell, Eyeball, what is the plot hole?
How do you write this?
That's pretty backwards.
Good God. And I know, just doing found footage, you're kind of constrained in some things, but this is fucking stupid, glaring bullshit. Like, dropping the camera, and it has to fall at an angle where it's going to film it. Fine, that annoys me, but if you need it, you have to have stuff like that for found footage to exist.
Right.
That's why it's a bad medium. But this is just insane.
Yeah. I mean, you could just don't film the body being disposed of. Just don't do it. If you're a kid and you murdered somebody, don't do it.
Yeah. Lesson 1 about how to get rid of bodies. Don't film it.
Don't film it. That is the first lesson of murder school. The second lesson is work the shaft.
Minimize evidence. Work the shaft and minimize evidence.
Yeah.
That's why you swallow the cum.
Minimize evidence, maximize swallowing. Maximize your throat hole.
Oh, God. We're here giving lessons to all those teenagers out there.
Oh, boy. God, I hate
Cohen
that word.
wakes up Adam early the next morning and tells him, dude, we got to go look at the guy in the dumpster because, look, I told you earlier, there's a hole on the back of his neck. We got to check it out. Something's not right. The guy who just barged in here and tried to murder you and didn't feel any pain and his face melted when you sprayed him with deodorant, he's got a hole in his neck. We should check that out because something was funky. Mm-hmm. And Adam resists and says, no, it's just a cut. Just a cut. I've seen cuts before. It's no big deal. Whatever. So they go find the body in the dumpster, go look at it, filming it again.
This part is I skipped around. I remember seeing this part and being completely baffled as to what the fuck was happening.
So they see the hole. They argue about the hole. Adam says it's not a big deal. Cohen says, well, logically, what we have to do is experiment by spraying a random person in the face with deodorant and seeing what happens.
Okay.
So buckle up, Buttercup. Adam goes to spray a dude in the face with deodorant, but as soon as he gets near him, the dude runs away, and they chase him with shaky cam out of the town, all the way into the woods. The camera starts getting wonky again, so that means we're near danger, I guess. They arrive at the old factory, the one that we heard earlier was struck by lightning. Adam says, because he sees a bunch of weird dudes through the trees, it looks like a gathering of it looks like a gathering of smackheads. And then he runs off, and then Cohen is immediately chased through the forest by the smackheads. Of course, as he's fleeing, he's holding the camera over his shoulder so we can get footage of the people chasing him.
That is the sign of a distinguished professional.
Yes, it is, sir. Yes, it is. Cohen gets home, and Adam arrives home a moment later, his shirt covered in blood. Phil and Kipper are both there. Cohen is in a panic, and then Adam bursts in, and Adam starts attacking Cohen immediately.
Okay.
But Cohen sprays him with deodorant, and a large insect roughly the size of a cat crawls out the back of his head and starts running around, and Cohen impales it with a knife.
God. Don't like it. Don't like it at all. Don't like it. Don't like head bugs.
Give a little credit for the $20,000 budget. The bug looked okay. It didn't look good, but for just them pulling this off, not too bad. That didn't totally pull me out of the movie. Didn't look realistic, but I wouldn't have complained about that necessarily.
Fair enough.
Phil and Kipper want to flee the town, but Cohen insists they go rescue Janine. Their plan is to break into the grocery store in the middle of the night.
Adam's just dead.
No, Adam's fine. Right, sorry, I forgot to mention that. Yeah. Yep.
But there was a
He's
bug
like, oh, Cohen, thanks, you got the bug out my neck. Thanks for spraying me in the face with deodorant. Like, the other guy's face melted off and he died. But me, I'm fine, because I'm Adam. I'm a lead character.
Alright. Okay.
Yeah, that's another thing that'll keep coming up. Just no consistency in the consequences of people getting caught by things. So they break into a grocery store in the middle of the night because they're going to steal a shit ton of deodorant to make the space bugs crawl out of people's heads so they can kill them.
Alright.
So there's a couple dudes with space bugs in the grocery store. They spray them in the face. The space bugs crawl out and they run away in fear. It didn't seem like they grabbed more deodorant, but later they have a bunch of deodorant, so I guess they did.
Alright.
I don't know.
I'll roll with it.
They go back home and say they need to find weapons Shaun of the Dead style. And this is where it really drives home how much they're trying to emulate the movie Shaun of the Dead, which is a fantastic fucking movie. But first of all, okay, you want to make a movie sort of in the style of a great movie you admire, fine. You want to pay homage to it? Sure. You want to have some plot points that even match up? Okay. You don't reference the title of the movie you're doing that to in the script.
No, it's just not good.
Yep. Because if you hadn't done that, then me, who had seen Shaun of the Dead, probably would be like, oh, they're going for Shaun of the Dead thing. Cool. They're doing a nod to that movie. It obviously influenced them. But once they say it, it's just so over the head. And
I swear, like every other movie we do on this show, both of us, there's always that thing where they make a reference and then immediately reference the reference.
Yeah.
It's happened a bunch of times in the show.
It's similar to a movie saying its own title inside the movie.
Yes.
Like, no good movie does that.
No. Shouldn't. God damn it.
It's not like Andy Dufresne comes out of the fucking tunnel in the rain and then, like, cocks his hand on his hip and is like, that sure was a Shawshank Redemption. Fucking hell.
The last scene of Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas is Hunter S. Thompson driving out to the desert and said, you know what? I had a lot of fear and loathing back there in Las Vegas. Oh, we gotta keep this up. I don't know.
I can't think of any other good movies. I've
Not
been
off the top
watching
of
too
my
many
head.
bad movies. Okay. Adam tries to make Phil, who apparently is his sister, stay home at the flat alone while the men go to rescue Janine because her delicate little clitoris might get eaten by the evil space bugs.
That sounds like an awesome porno.
Good point, actually. You and I could probably play space bugs in a porno.
Yeah, I could do it.
Yep.
Buzz, baby. Let me
I've
see
never
that
tried
thorax.
I've never tried buzzing specifically. I've tried like humming during cunnilingus, but not buzzing. Might give buzzing a shot sometime.
I gotta try that.
Bzzz. I feel like that might work.
Yeah, I'm gonna try that.
Yeah. Okay. Cool.
I'll touch base with you on that.
Don't think about B-movie.
If I think about Renee Zellweger while I'm performing cunnilingus, I'm gonna fall the fuck asleep between a woman's legs, which is the ultimate insult.
This is true.
Although if I think of Barry B. Benson, I'll be energized.
Yeah, he sure will.
Sexual ecstasy.
So Phil, because she's kind of a badass and she's got a rock hard fucking big ass clitoris, she's like, fuck it, I'm going. I'm not staying behind, whatever. They go to Janine's house. Janine is terrified and crying in the corner of her room. They scoop her up and make a break for it, but Janine insists that they free her dad from the room he's been locked in. Cohen tries to yell at her and tell her, he's not your dad anymore, he's dead to you. But she insists or whatever. So they go in the room. Her dad is leaning up against the wall. The camera gets all wonky. Then the dad tries to eat Janine's face. So they spray him good and squash the space bug that crawls out of the back of his head. Not sure what happened to the dad. I guess he's dead. Whatever. They encounter some bug zombies as they flee.
That happened to Adam and he was fine.
Yeah.
But everybody else is... Also, the tone has changed dramatically.
Oh, yeah. Golly. Yes, it has.
Did you ever see Cloverfield, the original?
No, I have not.
So, the original Cloverfield is about a monster that attacks New York. It's like Godzilla, but it's found footage, pretty much. And also the monster's way scarier. And it starts pretty much the same way, except the tone shifts in like 6 minutes. Because they're at a party, maybe 10 minutes. They're at a party, and then shit happens, and it just stays pretty hard. It doesn't take 40 goddamn minutes to get to the action. Gross.
Weird movie, man.
Okay.
This is a weird one. They flee, encounter, and kill some zombies with space bugs, whatever. Later that night, they're back at the flat. And we just see some general footage of Cohen and Janine bonding in the darkness. Not sexually. They're just hanging out, chatting. She says she has the keys to her dad's car.
Okay.
Then later on, we see footage of Cohen and Phil bonding and sobbing in the darkness because they're afraid. So, oh shit, are we getting a love triangle? Is he going to have to figure out which girl he really wants to be? No, he's not going to have to do that. They just tease it for no reason. Nothing happens.
Oh.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep. It's pulling my cock out and giving it 3 quick, long sucks and then walking away. That's cruel. Very cruel. It's upsetting.
That is upsetting. I'm upset by that. I'd rather you just not even suck it at that point.
Exactly. So Adam starts panicking as he hears car alarms going off and people screaming in the streets. I don't even know why I took some of these notes. I was just losing my shit. Phil makes a specific recording into the camera. So not just like the footage like they're generally recording. She's like talking to the 3 guys and says, hey, I'm going to go by myself in the middle of the night to get the car because I have to repay you for saving my life earlier, which I guess happened. I don't really remember. Fuck this movie. In the morning, Adam freaks out, presumably because he found the tape, knows that Phil has left, she hasn't come back, she doesn't have the car. Cohen says, Adam, you need to stay and look after who I love. Janine, right? Yeah, her. And then I'll go get who you love, Phil. And that's how we'll do it. I don't really know why.
But, okay. Well,
Cohen and Kipper.
I know you said you don't know why, but can you possibly try harder?
It's all speculation. Like, if I tried to pull some logic out of this anus, it would be, I'll be less emotionally raw if I'm rescuing the person I don't love as much. I get, like, the doctor shouldn't operate on their own spouse or something.
Yeah, okay, alright.
That's the only logic I could try to eke out there.
I guess that's fair.
It's not explained. It wouldn't take that much to explain it.
Oh. A shit show.
Cohen and Kipper go to rescue Phil. They start getting attacked by some zombie bugs, whatever. But policeman Terry shows up and shoots the zombie bugs in the head with a shotgun.
So when you say zombie bugs, it's people.
Yes.
With bugs in their necks.
Yes. And when you shoot them in the head, it kills the person and the bug.
Okay. I thought this was a comedy?
No, it's definitely not.
Oh.
I mean, it's like most kind of modern horror movies, like Cabin Fever is not a comedy, really, but
right. Well,
there's definitely a lot of things that are intended to be funny.
Okay. So this is more like a disaster movie than a horror movie.
Yeah.
This was horror comedy. Huh. Alright.
And maybe it got characterized as that because it fucking leans on Shaun of the Dead as much as it does.
Which is a very funny movie.
Yeah, but this doesn't hit the funny beats, and you can tell it's trying to be funny and goofy kids being drunkards and having a grand old time while the world's ending.
Huh.
But as soon as it dials up to 10 and shit gets real, whereas Shaun of the Dead is funny consistently, even though it does have scary moments and serious moments, it's funny throughout. This just stops being funny and is just horrifying at the 25-minute mark or whatever.
Huh. Weird.
Yeah.
All right.
Never gets funny again. Okay, so policeman Terry, Kipper, and Cohen make their way across town. I think they find the car that Phil was supposed to find, but it's filled with dead bodies or whatever, and they start panicking. Cohen starts screaming, Phil, where are you? Because I actually love you and not Janine, maybe. I don't know, I'm just teasing it. Policeman Terry is like, shut up, you're going to wake up the space bug zombies. And then Phil just shows up driving a different car. They all get in the car and start driving. Policeman Terry lets them know that most of the other policemen and special forces were killed, and that he himself had to kill some of them because they had bugs on the brain. Then Policeman Terry, I forget if he's driving or someone else is driving. I think he's driving. He's distracted and crashes the car into a barricade of cars and bug zombie people. The car goes spinning and flying, and the camera cuts out. Camera comes back on. In the upside-down car, we can just see a little bit of Cohen's long-ass curly hair and, the top of his face, hardly anything.
Does his head still say cocksucker?
No, it got washed off, thank God.
Damn.
That would have been good, actually.
Yeah, that would have made it.
And past Cohen's hair, we see Phil just coming to with a giant bloody gash in her face. She wakes up, and she tries to wake up Cohen, but zombie bug people pull her out of the car while she screams, and the camera cuts out again.
Okay.
Then camera comes back on. Kipper is manning the camera now and is trying to wake Cohen up, and this is where you get that scene that's actually interesting lighting and cool cinematography where the sunlight is in the background and the whole shot is really washed out, and it's a good, coming out of a tragic accident and realizing what's going on. It's just visually it captured that moment pretty well.
Okay.
So, props where it's due. Cohen crawls out of the car and we see that policeman Terry has died in the car accident.
Rest in peace.
Cohen doesn't seem to have any visible injuries, which is convenient, even though he was unconscious for fucking ever. No head trauma. Not even a little trickle of blood on the forehead. Nah. Yeah. Cohen screams Phil's name out into the woods they're in or whatever. I don't know. And bug zombies start chasing them instantly because he screamed like a twat.
Okay.
Cohen and Kipper go back to the flat and find blood stains all over the place. All the furniture is smashed up. Adam and Janine are nowhere to be found. But they find Adam's phone, which has a video showing them talking into the camera, where Adam says, they found us, they're coming for us, and Janine says, Cohen, I love you, I've always loved you, oh my God. And then they get attacked by the zombie bug people.
So attacked as in they're dead or kidnapped or something?
Just attacked. The camera drops and we hear horrible sounds and screaming.
Okay.
Kipper gives Cohen a motivational speech about how they're family and they need to at least try to save their homies. So
I have a question.
Yes.
Do we have any idea what the motivation of the bug zombies is? Do we see them eating people? Do they just want to infect more people? Do they want to kill people? Or do they have any motivation that is discernible whatsoever?
Nope.
Okay, I'm on board.
Just get in people's necks and heads.
Sometimes
and control them.
You just need a monster. Got it. Fuck's sake.
That's all we can do. So Cohen and Kipper pack up a bunch of deodorant and weapons and head outside.
Oh, deodorant, right. I forgot. Fucking God.
And this is the weird scene. Okay, so they find a van with the door open, and there's a little 7-year-old girl and then a screaming baby hiding in the van. And this is the weird callback to the real Hungerford mass shooting. Because one of the crimes he did, he went to a park where, a mom was, getting her kids out of the car to go for a walk or whatever, and the guy, put a gun in her back and made her walk into the woods and just shot her in the back like 13 times and killed her and just left the kids in the minivan.
Oh, that's distressing.
Yep, and it just randomly is in this movie as a nod to that, but I don't know. Maybe there's a deeper meaning. I was poking around on Wikipedia, but it seemed like that was the only real reference to it other than the name.
Jesus.
I don't get it. But Cohen tells Kipper that he has to take the kids to safety. I'm not sure how the fuck that's supposed to work on foot given the last hour or so of the movie that we've been watching. But whatever. Kipper's going to take the kids to safety. We don't know.
The Winchester?
I don't know.
All right.
So Cohen goes alone to the lightning factory where all the smackheads are bipping-a-bopping around.
You're
with
kidding,
Bill Cosby. Right? No.
Who has the camera, Cohen?
Yes. He's got a GoPro strapped to his tits now.
Okay. It's a good thing you took the time for that. Okay.
Yep. He sees people in a holding cell outside of the factory. Then he sees a dude in, like, a bloody, stained white lab coat and a helmet come out and I think stabs one of them and, like, hauls the body off while the rest of the people in the holding cell are screaming. Cohen runs up to the holding cell and all the people seem to not be infected and be normal because they're begging to be let out. But instead of freeing them, just to free them, or freeing them to get help with his journey, Cohen says, don't worry, I'll be back, but first, I'm gonna follow this horrible-looking monster in the bloody-stained white coat with a hard hat who just stabbed someone to death and is carrying the bloody corpse into the dark lightning factory where all the monsters are. I'm just gonna go in there alone after him, and I'll be back and let you guys out after that, because I'm sure I'll be fine, right?
Oh, my God. Okay.
Yep. So, oh, God.
Good decisions, Corner.
So yeah, just a couple minutes of him just flashlighting his way down the stairs and going deeper and deeper into the bowels of the factory. He pulls through a wall of obviously fake Halloween decoration cobwebs, which there's 25 points of movie trivia on IMDb. One of which was, we ordered the cobwebs off of Amazon. None of it's real trivia. It's all, like, they obviously filled this out themselves. And it's like, on day 3 of shooting, the crew ran out of fake blood and had to have more delivered by a courier.
On day 3 of shooting, the crew ran out of fake blood and had to use their own.
Your blood let the courier. Yeah, he crawls through that wall of cobwebs, finds a shit ton, like dozens and dozens of bodies wrapped up in cobwebs. Just lying on the floor of the factory.
Okay.
Then, guy in the bloody coat shows up and beats up Cohen, but we still get enough found footage to see bloody dude dragging Cohen by the feet while the camera gets all wonky again. Then, I guess Cohen gets let go? What? I don't even know what happened. Anyway, Cohen wakes up and finds Adam wrapped up in cobwebs. He pulls the cobwebs away from Adam's face, and Adam wakes up like, all right, cheerio, good to go again. Right. Avoided death inexplicably for the second time, because I'm Adam.
All right. Yeah.
Cohen finds Janine wrapped up in cobwebs, pull the cobwebs off her face. She says, I love you, Cohen. You saved me.
Okay.
And then the king monster emerges from the darkness. Kind of, I don't know, you see his face a little. It's like a scary mask. You don't really see much of it because it's a lot of darkness.
Question.
He's got a... Yes.
Does he have a red bow tie?
No.
Not scary.
We're not
Movie over.
We're not that lucky. He's got a deep, distorted voice, and he has growly-ass breathing. But he doesn't say anything. It's, like, just inexplicable or, like, alien talk or something.
All right.
So we never find out. I mean, I assume he's the king monster, because we only see one of him once. But I don't know. I really don't know. Because then some dudes in gas masks with machine guns burst in and shoot the monster, And then we get a night vision sequence of these soldiers escorting Cohen, Adam, and Janine through the factory, up staircases, while they're still being accosted by zombie bug monsters, people. Some of the soldiers get picked off. They make it outside, and the soldiers start mowing down a bunch of bug zombie people with machine guns, but there's too many of them, so they kind of get overwhelmed. But then Kipper shows the fuck up out of nowhere. Not sure where the children are. I guess they're safe. He got them to safety. I don't know why he didn't stay at safety. I don't know. If they knew where safety was, why wouldn't they go to the safety? Then we see a giant spacecraft emerge into the sky from behind a building.
What?
For 2 seconds, because that's all they could bother to do, on a very low budget, and he was probably doing the effects on his own computer or something, so... Okay. Then we cut to Cohen...
The fuck is happening?
Speaking, holding the camera up to his face, so it's not his GoPro anymore, but he's, like, holding the camera and, like, speaking determined and dramatically. Like, once we realized the infestation was as bad as it was, we realized there was only one thing to do. We couldn't just run and hide. We had to stand and fight. And then Adam pops up, and apparently they're now soldiers, and they're on the first line of defense, fighting this weird alien infestation. And Cohen says into the camera, Phil, if you're out there, we'll find you. And that's the end of the movie.
What?
Yeah.
What?
Yep.
No, it's not. You're a
Yes.
fucking liar.
It's the end of the movie. I swear on my own grave, because I just dug it in the backyard, because I'm going to shoot myself and fall into it after this.
Does anything get resolved?
Adam apparently is immortal, and Kipper knows how to get rid of children.
Yeah, I think you actually touched on it. It's something about digging a grave and gunshots. But,
yep.
So we don't know if... So the monsters are from space?
There's a spaceship.
Okay, so they're spacemen.
It would seem.
So you have to listen to what they tell you, but they don't talk.
Or it might just be lost in translation.
I just needed to reference my Great Gazoo argument whenever spacemen are present.
Oh, right.
Whenever a spaceman tells you to do something, kids, you listen to it. So, we don't know the space monster's motivations.
No. We
don't know the fate of one of the characters who is... Apparently they know is still alive. The monsters don't seem to want anything other than to make more monsters, which seemingly kills the host, except when it doesn't.
I don't know if they're even making more monsters. It's just the bugs like crawling into people's necks and controlling them and making them kill other people. I don't know. I guess they're just trying to take over the planet.
But why?
Because they hate deodorant.
And why? Thank you for touching on my last question. Why does deodorant there... What?
I don't know. The movie Signs, one of the M. Night Shyamalan Ding Dong movies, which had some promising moments, but everyone was very upset at the end. Spoiler alert, if you care about the 2002 M. Night Shyamalan movie Signs. The aliens are destroyed by water. So it's very easy to kill them, and then when they figure out the planet they've been trying to invade is 70% water, they're like,
stupidest thing in the world.
Fuck it, let's go home. And this guy thought, well, let's do that, but with spray deodorant.
Wow.
Whew.
This does not... Okay, now I'm just listening to it, obviously. I didn't watch... I saw bits and pieces. This does not sound like a movie that is really impressive even for a 19-year-old. The fact they did it on the low budget does impress me. And the fact they did it at all, because, I mean, what the fuck movies have I written for all my big talk? But, this is shit.
I will not give them credit for writing this movie.
No, that's bad.
Yes. Actually, being able to film it, to edit it, to put in bad punching sound effects, but still make them occur at the right time. They get some brownie points.
You know what the worst part of found footage movies is? I was thinking about this. No music.
Right, yeah.
No music to set the ambiance.
That's
whatsoever.
a very good point. Because music really makes so much. Like, anytime, especially in like a Disney movie, because in almost every single Disney movie I cry at least 3 times. And I'm just completely being manipulated. And it's usually not the story that actually makes me cry. It's just, there's this little emotional thing that's like, oh, that's sweet. But then the characters are hugging and they have tears in their eyes and the music is just perfectly calibrated to pull those emotions out of you.
That's exactly how I am. Seriously, the same way. I have a lot of memories tied to specific music. A lot, and it's funny because I made a list recently of my top songs of all time, just as part of a conversation I'm having with somebody. And I spent a lot of time on it. I'm looking at it, and a lot of the songs on there are stuff from movies that I have ties to from that. Like my number one is my favorite song of all time for many reasons. Is the song at the end of The Big Lebowski, which is probably one of my favorite movies of all time. Just like it's Dead Flowers. It's Townes Van Zandt does like a guitar version of the Rolling Stones song, which the Rolling Stones version is kind of crap. And just that like always stuck with me, and I've loved it ever since. And I can always listen to it. So and like half the goddamn songs on my list are from media that like it holds a lot of meaning to me from that. So. It's with like Disney movies and stuff like that. With goddamn the end of Guardians of the Galaxy 2, whenever I see that, the music and the celebration and like the honoring of somebody who died, it always gets me. It's shit like that. Yeah, and a found footage movie is just like there's nothing. You're not watching a movie. You're watching a collection of home movies that someone's pretending is a movie.
And as you saw last week with Bedeviled, where the music was kind of on point, especially for the jump scares or the sound effects, but it just didn't match up visually. And that's what you really need, is you need both of them in sync.
Yes.
And that's what was missing from Bedeviled, and then here in this there's a lot of things missing in this found footage movie, but naturally, because of the type of movie it was, it's completely missing that musical component, which really drives a movie, and I don't know, is a lot of what amplifies the emotions and really actually delivers them to the audience.
Yeah.
So.
What the fuck?
Yep.
What even happened?
I don't know. It was a really weird movie. It was really bad. Really, really bad.
Jeez.
I still gotta say, I'm just impressed they made it.
Yeah. Yeah.
And there's some things that aren't terrible about it. I mean, I guess my score is like a 1 out of 10. It's really bad. It's almost not remotely I guess it's kind of entertaining because how bad it is. But yeah, I don't know. There's a couple gags that are okay, and some of the cinematography is all right. But yikes.
Oh, man.
It's a rough one.
I was not expecting that at all.
Yep. Yeah, when you said horror comedy, I definitely wasn't prepared for this.
I thought that's what it was, just from what I saw. I must have just got the wrong impression somehow. Jesus.
Well, the first 20 minutes are fucking just goofy party college kid shit.
Wow. What an ending. So, when's the sequel come out? When are you watching the sequel?
I will not be watching the sequel under any circumstances.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, if you pick it for me, good luck continuing this podcast alone.
I'll use one of the clones I've been growing of you.
That's almost scary, because I've been growing clones of you.
Oh, shit.
We think alike, aw.
Every time you come, I sneak into your house and scrape a little of it into a jar.
I thought you were going to say every time I come, you come too, and I was going to use that to my advantage.
That'd make for some awkward funerals.
Ooh, yeah, good point.
So 1 out of 10 in Hungerford, huh?
Yeah, it's real bad. Very little redeeming stuff about it, and if it was made by a 35-year-old man who had been in the business for a decade, it would definitely be a 0 out of 10.
Wow.
Yep.
That's impressive.
Yep. Because, yeah, like, anyone who's actually been making movies for a while, professionally, yeah, knows how to fucking put the sun in a shot to get, a good lighting on a scene.
Right.
But, yeah, when it's your first time out and you're able to do some creative stuff like that, you got 1 point. Just
all
one.
right. Fair
fucking
enough.
actually try writing a movie for once. It's amazing how that works. You write it, and it's better than not writing it.
Yeah.
Good Lord. Okay. Well, that's all I can get at about this movie. I gotta move on. Because there's a clusterfuck and a half. So, next week, you're gonna be watching a movie, and I'm gonna give you a bit of an option.
Okay.
You're gonna be able to pick between 3 movies, but I'm only gonna give you a couple of details about each one.
Okay.
Well, just technically one detail about 2 of them. Okay. Would you rather watch a movie that was written and directed by Harold Ramis, who played Egon in Ghostbusters, also helped write Ghostbusters, wrote and directed Caddyshack, wrote and directed Groundhog Day, I'm
very fond of the man.
Analyze This and Analyze That. And
never seen those.
Those are pretty good. Billy Crystal and someone else. I forget who's in it. Also had writing credit for Animal House.
Oh, man. Another favorite.
Mm-hmm. Yep. So, talented man. So you'd be seeing a movie written and directed by this comedy legend and genius.
That's scary.
Or would you like to see a movie that contains a performance by Mr. Morgan Freeman? Or would you like the mystery box?
Oh, man. Okay. You have laid your cards on the table.
Now we sit back and watch the beard wheels churn.
You would not be picking the Harold Ramis movie or the Morgan Freeman movie if they were good. I'm trying to think. Now, Harold Ramis, I know a lot of the good things he's written. I have no idea the bad things he's written. I'm trying to think of what roles I've seen Morgan Freeman in and know he's in. And I'm thinking it's Wanted, and I don't know if Wanted is on Netflix right now. That's the only thing I can think of that I know is not good off the top of my head. I'll tell you what. In the spirit of the spooky season, I'm going to clench my eyes and grit my teeth and thrust my hand into the mystery box.
Oh boy. Because I didn't want to give you this movie because I would have felt bad.
Fuck. I just fucked up, didn't I?
Because I don't know how bad this is going to be, but it's a cowgirl story. It's a inspirational, faith-based film.
Oh, no. Are you serious?
Yep. You gave me I'm in Love with a Church Girl.
I did.
And there's so many faith-based movies.
There's so many.
And they all look terribly bad. There's one I was looking at that's... I forget what it's called, but I think the last third, or the third act, is just a debate between a creationist and a scientist.
Oh, we can't do that. It'll be...
Yeah.
Is that Selena Gomez's square fucking head again?
No, it's not her.
Oh, hoping to refocus while our parents are deployed in Afghanistan. A tenacious team forms a horse riding squad with her rebellious new school friends. That's a guy in a shitty horse costume doing a line dance.
It's a feel-good movie, Larry. That's really what it is.
I just want to point out, I'm looking at this on Netflix.com. I'm not using my phone or anything. This is the Netflix.com description. And the genres, in reverse order of least important to most important: faith and spirituality, drama, movies for ages 11 to 12. Fuck you. And I'm not going to get to know what my other options were, am I? Because you're going to fucking throw them at me one day.
Yeah, one of them is a movie we definitely have to touch on, because it's an important one. And the other one is a perfect storm for you. There's a couple other people involved that I don't think you're fans of.
Oh, no. A cowgirl story? Okay, well...
Yeah, you have said I got something coming.
You got a couple things coming. Now, as is the show, obviously I have to choose your next bit of suffering. Normally I like to do a little bit here, but you know what, Isaac? Sometimes the title of the movie says everything you need to say. So...
You're making me nervous.
Fuck you, Eyeball.
Fuck you, Scary.
Your movie? Teenage Bank Heist.
No, what? I'm sorry, what kind of bank heist is it?
Teenage Bank Heist.
And what do the teenagers do?
They bank a heist.
I don't think I want to do this.
Teenage Bank Heist. Teenage Bank Heist.
Come on. A hostage wasn't part of the plan, but she's a friend of one of the robbers from school. Mom will not be pleased.
Yeah. Boy, let me tell you, the 5 minutes I watched of this, oh, boy, is this one a winner.
We're getting a hot load of teenage girls coming up real fast the next couple weeks.
Oh, yeah.
I guess it's been a while since we've done teenage girls. I should have phrased that better.
It's been a long time, yes, in fact.
Yeah, good point.
Since I myself was a teenager. As an adult, I only do adult women.
Did I bang teenagers after I wasn't a teenager?
Don't answer that. As your legal counsel, I advise you strongly to change course.
No, I think I did a 20 to 19. That's all right.
Is 19 a teenager?
Yeah, 19. Come on, Larry. Don't give me some more beard teen shit or something.
So let me tell you about my concept of beard age.
God damn it. Fucking son of a bitch.
Teenage Bank Heist. Yeah.
What's with this brown gentleman?
The
with
guy
the
with the wide smile? Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know.
like him.
I don't know. Yeah. So this is... I've got a couple in the chamber, but this one is the one I'm most excited for you to see because, boy, howdy. Just the opening scene alone was enough to whet my appetite for your hatred.
I hope you take your wet appetite and shove it into a fucking wall socket, asshole.
Yeah, then I get to go meet God, and we can talk about a cowgirl's story together. God damn it.
God will just make you the guardian angel of, like, a cowgirl somewhere out in the world.
Oh, no.
Ooh, that could be a good sitcom, black comedy. You die and you get made into a guardian angel, and you just don't want to do it. So you do a very bad job, and the people you're supposed to protect just keep dying on your watch, and God gets madder and madder at you.
Ah, man. Like the fourth movie down from Teenage Bank Heist is F the Prom.
I don't want to be in that territory.
Yeah, well, here we be.
Ew, there's a movie called SPF 18.
I see it too, and I'm trying to pretend it's not there.
Gross. All right, well, thank you so much for listening to the Bowels of Netflix. Fucking, I just want to die. I don't know. If you want to interact with us...
This is a bad 2 episodes. It's 2 1/10s.
Yeah. I can't imagine the next couple weeks is going to be any better.
No.
If you want to check in with us on social media and make sure we're both still alive, that's at Bowels of Netflix at Facebook and Twitter. If you want to send us an email, bowelsofnetflix@gmail.com. We'd love to hear your thoughts on any of these movies you might have seen, or if you have any suggestions for the show, any movies we might do in the future, or you just want to rant at us about how we're the problem with the world.
It's not wrong.
It really isn't. But yeah, we should open our eyes, open our anuses, whatever needs to be opened, and fill it with whatever love you have. Hi, Mom. I hope you're listening.
Oh, man. There's something wrong with both of us.
But make sure to stay tuned the next couple weeks, because Larry's going on an adventure with a cowgirl.
I'm going to mount a horse. I'm going to save a horse and ride a cowgirl.
And I'm going on a teenage bank heist.
It's not even the name of a movie.
It really isn't.
It's like it needs to be like Harry Potter and the Teenage Bank Heist. Wait, am I going to need to write that? Fucking A.
That's basically a big chunk of the plot of Book 7, right?
More or less.
Oh, fuck's sake. But yeah, thank you so much for listening. Quick shout out to Kevin MacLeod. We get all our lovely music from him. He's at incompetech.com. He's got a bunch of music you can use for free as long as you give him credit in your creative projects. And thank you so much for listening. Make sure to rate and subscribe and recommend us to any of your insane, depraved friends who might want to listen to this kind of jive-ass bullshit for 90 minutes describing fucking... What was my movie called?
Hungerford. Why?
I'm not hungry. I'm tired. I want to go to sleep.
It's almost 3 in the morning.
I don't like any of this.
Everything's the worst. Why do we do this to ourselves and each other?
It's the only way to feel alive.
It really is, yeah.
Oh, God. We suffer to remove ourselves from the emptiness within.
Oh, God. Thanks for joining us for our Halloween spooktacular episodes.
Make sure to come back next week when it won't be quite as spooky.
Maybe for you.
We know how afraid you've been.
I have to stand before God himself. Did you fuck that horse girl? No, Your Honor. No, I did not fuck that horse girl.
When you say horse girl, you mean like a centaur? Speaking of which...
I would fuck the shit out of a centaur.
Does that count as bestiality?
Which hole am I fucking?
That's the question, I guess. If you fuck the horse end, I guess, is it bestiality?
Why?
But you can specifically ask consent.
Yeah. No, it's not. She has lady brain. Or does she have a horse?
But you're still fucking the horse pussy.
You know, one day, there's a very high chance you're going to have kids, and a somewhat moderate chance I might. And they're going to listen to this. This is going to be what we leave them.
Yep. I really hope it's after I'm dead, too. Or when I'm senile.
Yeah.
Either way.
No, I want this to be like the porn tapes some fathers pass down to their children. But, I'm fucking the horse pussy, and it's absolutely not bestiality.
Alright, now that we have that clarified, we'll discuss mermaids next week. Thank you so much for listening. We love you, and we'll see you next week for Mermaid Corner.
That's no corners underwater, you twat.
In a fish tank there is.
Oh, shit. Smell you later.